In this English class, we are going to deal with a topic from your writing skills syllabus, which is dialogue. Now, at first, let us try to find out what a dialogue is. A dialogue is, in fact, a talk or a conversation between two people. Dialogue writing is a useful form of composition, especially to be introduced in stories and plays. Now you see, we have watched dramas or we have watched plays in school, or we have also gone to theaters previously, or even those who are going now or whatever. Now here we also have read short stories or novels, and there we find conversation is introduced. It can be between two people, or sometimes it can be more than two, but it is essentially between two people. Now this has been introduced in order to break the monotony of the story or the monotony of the play. So a dialogue is introduced, or a conversation is introduced between people or between the characters in order to break the monotony of a play. Moreover, it gives us ample scope in practicing to speak English correctly, because it is the need of the hour. English language is assuming global dimensions. Now, if you try practicing in English, dialogue writing in English, it will help you not only to write correct English but also to speak correct English. You will understand what the nuances are, what tense is to be used, what vocabulary is to be introduced over there, and how to communicate with people properly in English. Because you know, English is the link language now. English is assuming global dimensions. So if we do not know the language or the mother tongue of any other person, English is the only mode of communication between the person whose language we do not know. Now, while writing a dialogue, the major point to be kept in mind is that it should appear to be natural or spontaneous. Now, whenever we are writing a dialogue between two characters or two or more characters, we should keep in mind that it should be spontaneous, it should appear natural, and it should not be artificial. The reader should not feel that it is a made up piece of writing. The reader should not feel that it is copied from somewhere. It should be something original, something that we talk in our everyday lives. When we meet a friend, or when we meet any relative or whoever it is on the road or in some other place. So we begin our conversation in a very natural manner. We ask how the person is, then what is he doing now, what is he doing at that moment, where is he going, or whatever. So we continue like this. So it is a natural way of talking to people. It should not be copied from any place. So it should be something very original. Next point, Every written material, whether a story or a letter or dialogue, follows a certain method of writing. Now, every written material in your writing skill, you see whether it is a paragraph or a biography or a letter or even a dialogue, all of them follow a particular pattern of writing. Now, dialogue also follows a certain pattern. Now, this is as follows. At first, read and think over the topic carefully and note down the points or the arguments to be covered by both the speakers. Now we should read and think over the topic. So whenever we get the topic, whatever the topic is, we should first read the topic carefully and then think over it, what the topic means, what it requires of us, and then note down the points or the arguments to be covered. So whatever the conversation between the character A or the character B should be, we should note down the points very carefully. Secondly, arrange these points in a logical manner so that they form a chain leading to a good piece of conversation. Now, the arguments should not be haphazard. They should be presented in a logical form or a logical manner so that they form a chain. At first, how the person is whenever we meet, and then what he is doing, and then how his parents are, how are they living in their house, or what they are doing now, inquiring about their health, inquiring about the health of the person whom you meet, and then you come to the topic. It is not something abrupt. You meet a person and then you begin your conversation. And then you have, thirdly, form an imaginary picture of the characters separately. Now you have to visualize the characters. Whenever we are framing a dialogue, first visualization is very much important. Imagining the picture or the conversation between two people. You should step into the shoes of that particular person. Let your characters talk in an easy and familiar manner. So the conversation should be free flowing. The conversation should not be something as if these people are unknown or they are not natural. It should be in a free flowing manner and a familiar manner. It should be very free. Try to keep in mind how real people talk in friendly conversations. Now just imagine you and your friend meet somewhere and then you talk amongst yourselves. How would you begin your conversation? The easy and the familiar manner. You get excited. You inquire about her health, about her parents, about what she is doing now or whatever, and then you come to the topic. So the conversation or the dialogue should be in a very familiar manner, as if the person is very much known to you. Try to keep in mind how real people talk in friendly conversations. Just imagine the picture or visualize the picture about how people talk in real life situations, and that you pen down in your paper. Next, do not let your speakers monopolize the conversation as if he or she were giving a lecture. All the speakers should equally take part in the conversation. So this is a very important point. The number of speakers that you are having in the dialogue, let each have his or her turn. It is not that one is going on speaking and the others are listeners. Others are silent listeners. It seems as if one is giving a lecture and the others are listening attentively. That is not a conversation. That is just delivering a lecture. So we should keep in mind that all the speakers should equally take part in the conversation. Then only it becomes a perfect dialogue. Next, sometimes we see that when people are talking to each other, one person interrupts the other. It happens many a times when speaker A is talking, speaker B interrupts that person or stops the speech of speaker A in between and says something. It might be important or it might not be important also, but that interruption is put inside. So these interruptions can be used sparingly in order to make the conversation look natural and interesting. Now these interruptions, this can be used sparingly. Sparingly means sometimes it can be used, not always. Now if we introduce these kinds of interruptions in a sparing manner, the conversation will look quite natural and interesting also. Now for your benefit, I have given you an example here. You see example A, the speaker A is saying, I know he would never do this. The other day he told me, there are dashes over here. That means the interruption has occurred. The second speaker or speaker B says, I don't know what he told you. The fact is that he did it. So here, the other day he told me, this speech that has been left incomplete by speaker A, this has been introduced for the arousal of the reader's interest. We will want to know what will come later. And speaker B here says, I don't know what he told you. Perhaps this person is quite angry. So he or she interrupts speaker A and says, I don't know what he told you. So this makes the dialogue very interesting. Next point. Do not use rare phrases so that the dialogue might look bookish. Any harsh language is not advisable. Now, whenever we speak with any person, we do not use phrases. Phrases are used only for written purpose. But whenever we speak to any person, whether it is a friend or any other senior person or a junior person or whoever it is, we do not use any kind of phrase. If we use phrase, it might look rather bookish, as if we have picked up a conversation from the book, we are reminded of a particular phrase and we have put it down there. So, in order to make the conversation look natural, we are advised not to use any kind of phrase. And any harsh language is not advisable. This is quite important, as you know, both in case of speaking as well as obviously for writing. No harsh language should be used. We always should use all kinds of polite words. Certain exclamations like Good heavens, how nice, oh dear, splendid may be introduced but not used too much. Now these are all exclamations. Good heavens, how nice, oh dear, splendid. Now these are all exclamations that can be introduced in the conversation, but not always, but not in every line. This also can be used sparingly, so the conversation will look quite interesting. Begin a dialogue in an interesting manner so that the reader's attention is arrested from the beginning and the conversation should lead to a definite conclusion. Now we are advised to begin a dialogue in an interesting manner. It is not in a very drab way, just like I am always keeping fine. Always we should say how are you, but in a that can also be said in an interesting manner, so that the reader's attention is arrested from the beginning and the conversation should lead to a definite conclusion. Our motive is to capture the attention of our reader. So the conversation that we are framing or the dialogue that we are framing should be done in an interesting way, and it also should follow a definite conclusion, not any abrupt way. It should not have an abrupt ending. Do not be off the track, because every conversation moves round a particular topic, so getting away from it will sound insensible. Now we have a particular topic. Always a conversation is based on a topic, and we should keep in mind that we should not drift away from the track, or we should not drift away from the particular topic, because every conversation moves around a particular topic. Whatever we are saying should move around that particular topic, and so if we drift away from it, it will sound quite insensible as well as illogical. Now here we are having a soft dialogue for your benefit. Imagine you bought a copy of Learning English Book 7 from a bookseller, and on reaching home you found some pages missing. You went back to the shop the next day. Write an imaginary dialogue between you and the bookseller. This is your topic. Now, here the conversation is between you as the customer and the bookseller. First, the bookseller says, "Which book would you like to buy?" Now, whenever you enter a shop, the person faces you. Obviously, this is the familiar question that he or she will ask you. You: "I don't want to buy any book." Bookseller: "Then how can I help you?" You: "I would like to change this book because I found 10 pages missing from it." Bookseller: "When did you buy this book?" You: "Yesterday in the evening." Bookseller: "But I was not there. Then who gave it to you?" It is your answer. It was probably your attendant. Bookseller: "How much did you pay for it?" You: "I paid rupees 320 for the book." Bookseller: "Can you wait for a day?" You: "Please arrange for a new book by tomorrow morning, otherwise return my money. I've got the cash memo." Bookseller: "Then it is done. Leave your address here. I shall send an attendant with a new copy by 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. If the copy cannot be procured, I shall send the money through him. You. How nice of you. Thank you very much. Bookseller. It's my pleasure. You are always welcome. See how I began my dialogue and how I ended it. Second dialogue. A dialogue between two girls regarding the distress caused due to air pollution. First girl, that is Nidhi. Rima, why are you rubbing your eyes? Rima, I feel acute irritation in them. Nidhi, do you have any trouble in your eyes? Rima, no, not at all. It has just started. Nidhi, but why? Rima, I think it is due to air pollution. Nidhi, good heavens, just look at the road. It is full of petrol fumes. It is becoming difficult to breathe. Rima, these fumes contain poisonous gases. Nidhi, no doubt, nitrogen oxide, carbon dioxide and what not. Rima, in fact I knew it, but you see the dashes over here. Nidhi, but what? Rima, I forgot to bring my goggles. Nidhi, how do they help? Rima, they keep away the fumes from entering the eyes. Nidhi, really? Then I should use mine. Rima, certainly, you should, in order to keep your eyes safe. Nidhi, thanks a lot for your suggestion. Rima, you are welcome. Now I have given you two dialogues for your benefit. You've seen how to write them. Now it is your assessment. You will write an imaginary dialogue for your practice. Assignment is write an imaginary dialogue between two ladies discussing about the quality of programs shown on television. You are going to practice it properly. You are going to pick two ladies. You can give names also for them. It is better you write names, and then you are going to write an imaginary dialogue. Their discussion is about the quality of programs that are shown on television.